Okay, so I will specify a breakpoint right here. Okay. And I'm just going to say start debugging. Okay, so we kind of routinely execute. We get to this point where we're about to assign new value to the top. So if I say step into, to trace into the call, right? This is the version. This is the version of the function that gets invoked, as you can see. So this non-const version of the top is invoked. I'm just going to step, 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 and now I'm back. The second time, so step over this, right? The second time, again, I'm going to say step into. And, oh well, in this case, it's still accessing the same function. I was hoping that it's going to, the compiler would access this one. It didn't, the compiler wired this call also to this one. So debug, stop debugging. That was interesting trial. How about this? How about this? Avoid foo stack. Let me see. Stack const st, and there int temp equals st dot top. Debug debug, stop debugging. I'm no longer debugging, so I'm fine. So right here, instead of doing it in this context, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say foo and pass my stack to a function named foo. Now this function named foo, right, which is right here at the top. So I am just saying, by the way, I don't know if you knew you could split the window vertically as well. It's the same file, main.cpp, right? So what happens now is that I am saying, let's call function foo and pass stack as a parameter. Function foo here, right at the top of my file, main.cpp, same file, is taking a reference to the stack. So it does not take a copy of an object, but simply takes a reference to it. But it says, but I promise, it says right here, I promise to use stack only in a constant in a constant manner, meaning that whatever I am going to do in here, I promise to not to change anything, not to call any non-const function, and not change anything inside the stack. So let's find out what happens this time, right? So instead of using using this statement directly here, how about if we run into this in this context? So build, let's build, make sure everything is built, must return a value. Where was it? Oh, I accidentally removed this or didn't finish it. Build, or we're going to take a break after this. Debug. Okay, so again I stop execution on this line. And again, I will trace into this call by using this step into option, debugger option. Step into, and it clearly stops into this original version of the top. And so it happens. And then I'll just step out, fine, step over, and now trace into this function, again saying step into. So trace into this function. So now I'm calling this one, and now trace into, and this time it is absolutely guaranteed that the compiler is smart enough to say, oh, read-only is okay. Do I have read-only version of this function inside the stack definition? Yes, I do, right here. This one is marked const. Clearly, this cannot be called from from this function, because what it gets a constant reference. Constant reference will prevent us to compile any calls into member functions of the stack class which are non-const, right? So, but this one is fine, and so this is our coverage of what this homework should look like. So it's still unfinished. You still have to finish the whole thing. Make sure that you read the description, and I will be testing your code against this version of the main driver. So if we jump right here, this is something that your main should compile just fine. If you copy and paste this into your main function, it should compile fine, right? So this is something to test that everything works properly, as in the previous homework assignment. But that's the idea. So we almost have complete solution here. We're also recording it, so we're going to post it. So you have an access to it. So be aware of it, please. If I was doing this homework, not in a demo mode like this in class in front of everyone, but rather just writing normal code, let me kind of roll back a little bit away from all of these debug windows, stop debugging. Okay. If I was doing the real work, I would most definitely go right here, right, and add another source file, and say add new item, right, and add C++ file name stack.cpp, right, and add it to the project, and basically take these definitions from this file to this file. So to demonstrate, we still need to include the stack, just like the main function does, right? Include stack in this brand new file, include the stack, and then define all members in here, in the implementation file, right? So that's how it should look like. And then keep the header file clean, and don't pollute it with any sort of implementation, right? So just instead of writing everything in line, move any executable code into the implementation file, and that would be my approach. I mean, it's so simple that I may actually do it right now, and then we're definitely going to take a break, right? So I can just copy everything that I have so far up to here. I think this is so far my implementation, right? So I can just go to the top. Every function belongs to the stack class, so I need to prefix its name with the scope where it really belongs, right? So pop, and each version of the top needs to be referenced like this. Control A, Control KF formats everything nicely for us. And now what I can do is just reduce this to only function declarations. Hopefully this is safe and I am not going to lose any of it, but That's what is the standard way of doing this, right? So we're size and everything else, right? So now simply save everything and rebuild. Clean solution just to make sure we build from scratch. Rebuild it, make sure that everything is fine. So now as you can see, the program is still running. That's why it's not happy, I guess. One or more define. So no, sorry, we'll fix it after the break. I have a problem there.